Yes, it is one wife, one husband. But what do you do with that which God has given to you? That means you just can't wake up and just sit watching your marriage just go like that. So from time to time, you need to be able to spice it up. From time to time, you must look for as little as the nightwear that you wear. You've been wearing one to make you, to bring it home. I have a particular nightwear. When I want to annoy my husband, I wear it. This is not sexy. It's not, it doesn't give that vibe. It's like he brings that the vibe instead of raising the bar. So when I'm not in the mood and I feel like I need to annoy this guy, I wear it. And just last night, I'm sorry if I'm being raw now. Just last night, I was parading. You understand? I was parading and the guy was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, be you they talk some things. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty." Sometimes even in the marriage, forget about the dress that you are wearing. Go nude, in quotes. It raises the temperature of the house. You can choose to be bland. They leave you at home all day long. They come back, you are still in the same attire.
Our focus tonight is more or less like 2 or 3-fold. We call it the clash of the titans because when we look at our world today, there seem to be a lot of issues with reference to the male and the female gender. And a lot of things seem to be going through a redefinition now. Roles in marriages, responsibilities in marriages seem to be going through redefinition. So we have a lot of people now that believe that what the man can do, a woman can do also. Some people believe what the man can do, a woman can do better. And then because of that, we have what we call women liberation and feminism. And then we have questions coming with reference to what do we even need these men for? Because the roles and the responsibilities that are traditional roles and responsibilities that seem to make the man look like a man are now being taken away. So if you are a man because you provide, I can provide for myself. So why do I need you? If you are a man because you want to be a father for a child or impregnate me, I can impregnate myself through IVF and have a child without a man. So why do I need a man? And we have a lot of men today that even the traditional roles that will have made them to think they are men, they can't even perform. So financially, they are not there. Sexually, they are not there. So the woman is really asking themselves, where do we stand? Then you have a lot of men also facing the issue of, I labor over this family, I go to work, I make money, all the money I make is on this family, all the time I spend is on this family, and when I still come home, I'm still not at peace. As a matter of fact, many of you already know that we read the Bible in 1 year, but we also, in our family, we do 1 Proverbs a day, which is a culture. So 1 proverb a day, and this morning, while my son was reading because what we do is if we are going out together, if he goes out with his mom, so he reads the Bible, and then he will tell us 1 verse that he picks from the Bible, and then, so today was the Proverbs, and while he was reading, he read a part, but one of the portion of the Proverbs for today is that it is better to live in the wilderness than to live in a mansion with a cantankerous woman. So a lot of men are even confused now that it seems as if there is nothing you do that is okay. Because many men are frustrated. They have done all they know to do. They are good men to the best of their own knowledge. They are good husband, good father. They provide. Yet, nothing they do is enough. And that now brings us to the second aspect, which is where we are actually going to start from. So that we kukuma go to the cocoa of the cocoa. Is the marriage institution still relevant in the 21st century? Or should everybody just find their level? Because right now, we even have people now that are not okay with man marrying woman. Men are marrying men, women are marrying women. They're even marrying animals now. So men don't even know that we have LGBTQWXYZ. It doesn't end anymore. So do we really should we still be talking marriage or manage or damage? So that is where I think we are going to start. So I'm going to start with the eldest couple in the house, the Ololos, and I'm going to ask you, how long have you been married? Now, of course, you have children. Your children too now will start talking marriage and grandchildren. So from your own point of view, you are even married counselors, and you are part of those counseling people to go and get married. So is marriage still relevant today? Should people still be talking of getting married? So let's hear from both of you.
It's always like that. We've been married now we got married in 96. So 96 till now that should be 27 or 28 years. 28 years of marriage now. And we had the ups, we have the down. But God has been faithful. But in my own summation, I want to say that we belong actually to the old school of thinking. And I still think the old school of thinking is still the best school of thinking. Marriage is still very necessary, very relevant, but not compulsory. I'm speaking with some caution. When I say very relevant, very important, I mean that you cannot properly set up an institution where you want to raise a family, children, and bring them up in proper way without the input of a father and a mother. No matter how good a father is, he cannot bring that aspect of the desire in a child's life for the mother. The mother has to put that into the child. So, the best of moms or the best of fathers cannot bring up the best of children. Every time you go around the country, if you meet a child that grew up with only the mother, if you walk with him, after a while, you will notice some major defect in thinking. In the same vein, children who grew up with their father alone, that also happens. So I think it's a combination of the husband and the wife that can take care of that. And beyond that, for lasting companionship, whether you like it or not, thank God you asked me the question. There was a time we used to think that maybe staying single can just be easy. At a certain point in your life, you need somebody to talk to. Don't mind those people who tell you things that there's one liberation here or there. It is what you need that you need. You need a companion. Not because that companion even has the answers to your question, but just somebody to talk to. Let me stop there. Maybe my wife has something to say.
So, Mrs. Ololo, let's hear you.
Marriage is still very, very necessary. From research, it had found out that the biggest sickness today in the world is loneliness. So if loneliness is the biggest sickness, we all need somebody. Even those people who claim they can do without a husband or husbands can do without wives, they still need companion. So the question we ask ourselves is, I need a companion. Do you need a companion that you can trust? If yes, marriage comes in. If you need a companion that is going to be committed to you, it is only in marriage you can find that. Even when you have husband and wife that are not committed, that are not trustworthy, but at least a larger percentage of it you get in marriage. In only these two alone, marriage is very, very necessary.
Wow. So let's celebrate them. Mr. and Mrs. Obasa, you guys have also been married. So you were going to tell us when you got married. And then when we look at the roles, we're still looking at this issue of is marriage relevant, but we want to look at it from the angle of roles. During our growing up years, there were what we call traditional roles. That is, this is the role of the man in marriage, this is the role of the woman in marriage. But over time, it seems as if life, civilization, and all kinds of things have started affecting those roles. So in line with that, after answering when you got married, how long have you been married? Do we still agree that we should hold on to the traditional roles that we were taught? Or is there a need for a change? The question then will be, what are the traditional roles? While we're all growing up, they tell us, oh, the man is the provider. The woman is the homemaker. So the man will go and work, bring money. The woman is the one that will cook and clean and take care. And now you are beginning to see a lot of women that are like, look, I can't cook. I don't need to know how to cook. I can get somebody to cook. Why must I be in the kitchen? My nails, I don't want anything to happen to my mani-pedi. You know, my manicure, my pedicure. Nothing should touch it. So why must I be the one in the kitchen? Clean. Must I clean? There is microwave. There is the washing machine. There is dishwasher. There is house help. So what's all this? You bring money, I bring money. So what's all this traditional role you are talking about? Why can't you also go to the kitchen and cook? Before I married you, were you not cooking? Did you marry me as houseboy, house girl? So I want the two of you to speak to when you got married. And these roles are the traditional roles that have been peddled through our parents, through the church, and through all the decisions. Are those traditional roles still relevant? Or do we, while we have agreed now that marriage is relevant, because of time, I decided to break it down so that everybody will not answer the same question. So we have agreed that marriage is still relevant, except anyone has a view, contrary view. So let's now go to those traditional roles. Are those traditional roles still relevant, or do we need to change the curriculum on these roles in marriage? So, roles and responsibilities. So let's hear you. Let's hear both of you.
Praise the Lord. Praise the living Jesus. We will be 20 in October. Our wedding will be 20 in October. So we got married in 2004. And the traditional roles are still very, very relevant. Yes, a lot of things have changed. I was a journalist before I married my husband. I'd known him long before I got into the media. And that meant that I was usually not available because of the nature of the job. The woman who comes home at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and he has to, and I will not drive. So once my colleague drops me off, he comes to the junction to get me to the house. He fixes dinner before I come back, so I just come in and eat. So if you were going to go by the traditional rules, our own kind of home wouldn't have worked from the setting out, because I probably would have had to leave my job much earlier. And each time I got worried about the fact that I thought things were not balanced the way I would want it. And I muted the idea of just dropping my resignation and then try to look for something else. He would just say to me that, are you sure that's what you want? If that's what you want, it's fine. In telling your story in life, I don't want you to say that you stopped or truncated your career because of family. So he's the domestic type. He grew up as an only son to his mom and lived among sisters. So he knows everything a girl growing up in a family would know, from cooking to everything. And we even say jokingly that my children prefer jollof rice. So when there's a special occasion at home and we needed to prepare jollof rice, children will always say, let's have daddy's jollof rice. So, but the point I'm making is, it's about understanding. You have to know what is peculiar about your own relationship.
you don't have to copy and paste because you saw that someone is saying something, and that's what is working for them. You have to understand what's working for your family. So in our own case, the traditional role was that, again, I started out earning more than he was earning. By virtue of his kind of job, he has always been a self-employed person. So building was at that stage, trying to build, and I was working with someone, of course, a very good organization where I was getting paid, and I had logged in so many years, so my money was always on the increase. So yes, I was earning a lot more than he was earning then. That's no longer the case now because the roles have switched. I have moved into building a business. So right now, I plow virtually everything I have into the business, and then it takes care of the family. So you have to understand the uniqueness of your family, and I believe that communication is very important at that point. Talk together and be able to know what's happening. Maybe if we get other questions, to ask whether I felt the role was cool, to add more to the spending of the home than I thought would be necessary as a woman. If we get questions to answer that, then I'll come back to that. But I want to leave it here so that you can also put in a word.
No, you need to answer that down. You need to, because you are coming home by 2 a.m., 3 a.m., he will still come and pick you at the bus stop at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So you are coming by 2 a.m., he will not sleep. He will now wait, or you will call him. Oh yeah, they have dropped me at bus stop. He will come. After cooking, taking care of the children, he can't sleep. He will still come and pick you at bus stop. So I don't understand because, he's going to answer by himself later. But hey, so talk that thing you want to talk that one. Continue that talk.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I was going to mention the point that in spite of the fact that, yes, he was taking care of, so he would usually say that whatever there is that I can do to ensure that you are able to keep your job, I will do it. And he was doing it. Then I had a younger sister that was staying with us then, who was known in school more than I was known, because whenever she shows up, she's the mommy of the children. And when I show up, I'm the second mommy of the children, because the little ones are telling themselves that, oh, these people's second mommy has come to school. And that happened very few times. I never saw afternoon at home like that. So then, but I was earning more, right? But it got to a point that I began to also feel like I wanted things to switch. And they were not happening as soon as I wanted. So again, that takes me to the rule, the thing about understanding and maturity. I found out I wasn't matured for what I had to handle. And so at a point, I got pressured. And I will resent, I will act in a way that I would naturally not expect that I will act. And that's because the pressure was distilling. And he was doing all that he could do to ensure that things work. I was aware, so it wasn't a case of a man who was not responsible. So by the point, in spite of all that he was doing, I'm just saying that you can get to that point where there is a breaking point. Everybody has got a threshold. So you get to your threshold and it looks like you are caving in. And but each time I came to that point, he would always say that he has made up his mind he'll never have a broken home because he was raised by a single parent. So anytime I threw tantrums and acted like, oh, I'm tired, blah, 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 he would just calmly say that word again. Is that what you want? And then once you ask that, is that what you want? You are expecting that when you throw tantrums, you should just also throw in maybe just react, and then let all of us begin to scatter everything, like that. So, but he will not. So once he says that, is that what you want? And then you remind me that he's never going to have a broken home. There's a way that talk will just be like cold water. Like you just douse everything. And then counselors helped us a lot. So a lot of the times when we got to that point, we just package ourselves to our counselors. And then they'll talk with us, help us see that things are going to be fine. And then I'll feel fine again and we'll continue the journey. So I believe that a lot of marriages that broke up at points where they thought they had reached the eclipse could have survived if they got the right counsel and then if they allowed God to help them.
Wow. So my brother, let's hear from you. The roles have reversed, like she said, but let's hear from you because see what you went. There are people that have relocated now, and in less than 1 year, their marriage is apart. Why? Because a lot of men in Africa equate their manhood with money. Their ability to provide is what makes them a man. So when they say you are a man, it's either because you are good in bed or you are good in the bank. So once you are good in bed or you are good in bank, say you are the man. But now, you now realize that a lot of people have gone abroad. The wife is the one earning more. And the guy that thought he was the man because he was the one paying house rent, he has now gone abroad to discover that the wife is the one that can now take care. And now he's the one that is at home, that has to take care of children. And the man that says, I can never go to the kitchen, that's a woman's job. And has now discovered that he's the one in the kitchen now, throwing away trash, washing plates. And now he said the woman got to London and she's controlling my life. And so let's hear from you on this role issue. And let's know what your emotional state too was in that level. Then we'll now go to the next question that will be answered by the two men of God and women of God by my side.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe you know she's a journalist. She will talk better than myself, and you will enjoy listening to her much more than myself. And her daddy here is also like a journalist, and I don't know why I'm fixed in between the two of them. But I will try as much as possible. One of the things that I think during our own startup time, before going into marriage, I have my perspective about money has not changed up till now. My understanding about money is that whatever comes, God may choose to bring it from your direction. God may choose to bring it from my own part. Wherever God chooses to bring the money, what I understand is that the money belongs to us and is for the purpose of the family. So having that understanding, when my wife was working in pawn, she was earning far, far more. She was earning very, very good money. I didn't feel anyhow. I have never prayed to God that God raise me up. I am a man, make me the head. I've never felt that. From my own perspective, she's meeting a need in the house. And all other things like going to the kitchen, preparing food, taking our children to school, doing every other thing, watching our clothes, ensuring that she's stable at work. Because for her coming by 2 o'clock, at times she's even pregnant, the work is very demanding. You need to be emotionally stable. And you need to be very, very alert. So I feel at that stage, that is a work for me. And I do it with every sense of joy. I'm so happy about it. I don't feel...
You are the man. You are the man. You are the man. You see, they are saluting you.
So I've never felt any way in any form. The moment she comes back, our salary, our ATM, everything, if we have to do anything. So, like she said, fast forward. So, when things change, or when the tide changes, in which right now I am more financially empowered much more than she is, it has not changed anything from my hand. I still enjoy going to food. I still enjoy going to the market. I still enjoy taking care of her.
Hey, my man. You are the man for today. Oh. In fact, the man of the year.
And if there is any little thing from her, because she is a very organized person, she is very meticulous. So if there is anything, anytime she wants to ask me that, okay, oh, please, I need money for this, I'll just tell her I don't. The thing is always there. If you need money, go there. We will see the account balance together. So I think, very, very importantly, the issue of money, I think is very, very important in families and in homes. When we're able to rein in that understanding about that, it gives us peace of mind and it gives us rest. So, I don't know.
Wow, yeah. We are learning. So let me come to the Denedos and bring out two things from there. How long have you people been married? And then she said that when she was carrying the load, at a point to be like, so why is it easy for women to eat men's money, but difficult for men to eat women's money? Your money is our money, my money is my money. So why can't women and men understand that anywhere the money comes from, it is our money? Why is it so difficult for women to do that? Then why is it so difficult for a man to be supportive? You know, bring money, care, you know, Stevie bring. You are not bringing money, wash plates. You say, that's not my job. They will serve you meat, you will still chop for money where you no bring. Go school run, that's a woman's job. I can't do that. You can't even support. So why? So two of you, when did you get married? And then help us undo this. Why is it difficult for women to spend money with joy for the family? When the man was spending, all of you were chopping. Why can't you also spend? And then why is it difficult for a man to support a woman? Why will a woman labor, and the man that is supposed to support is now part of the problem and is now an extra burden? So we want to hear from you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I take it from the perspective of my father. My father.
How long have you been married?
Okay, we've been married. December it will be 23 years. 23 years in December. So I grew up with my parents, but my father was an Urobo man. And Urobo men are very demanding and domineering. So that's the kind of environment I grew up. So at the time, my mom was the breadwinner. And every opportunity to disgrace her, my father will always bring up with that. Is it because you are making much money? So every opportunity to born a single, every opportunity to bring down a business, he find joy in that because he was not secured. Because at the time, he was the breadwinner. But when the tide changed, he could not handle it. So that's the kind of environment I grew up in. And I said to myself, the order has to change. And by the grace of God, my wife will speak now. I've been at both ends. Talking about at the time when we started the marriage, my wife also was earning much more than me. Much more. But it was a commonwealth. So we sit down, because I had this belief that when we got married on that day, he said, with all this, your worldly good, I did endure in sickness and in health. And I like things that are documented. I said, okay, so if she has more money, it's our money. So this time when she has more money, I thought, it's our money, or this is the commonwealth of the house. And we grew up like that. But at the time, it also changed. And she will speak in that direction. She could not handle it. So let me pause at the junction. Let her speak.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so I'll take it back to before we officially tied the knot. Right from school days, I've been used to money. And growing up, I've always enjoyed having something to do. I don't like to beg. I don't like to be dependent on anybody. So when I got into marriage, I equally carried that. But I give God praise for one thing. Money, I've never considered money to be something so much of a big deal that when I wake up, it's about what need do we have? Which money is available? It may be from him, it may be from me. So we grew up as a family always thinking of the need of the family first and not necessarily who holds the money. So like he said, there was a time when I was earning more. So at that time, even when he didn't have money, which was part of what caused our problem initially, because before his salary is paid and I have money, I would take money and give to his younger one who was in my school. And before you know it, they took the story back all the way to Delta State that I was collecting his salary and dictating to him how he should spend the money. So you see, there's already a problem from day one. So that continues, but to the glory of God, because of that mindset, I really don't, if I have 100K, it doesn't matter. If we need it, then let's spend what is important. So we kept on with that. But a time came when our business collapsed. And for the first time, I find myself without money. See, women, let me advise you. Today, it might be your turn. You might be the one bringing in the money. Please, never you for once let it get into your head that, now me get up. I thank God for those periods when I didn't even have to ask him for money for house upkeep. Once I get money, I do what needs to be done. So when the role reversed and I find myself for some months where I wasn't able to bring in money, as in I wasn't working, I didn't find it funny. There's something about the psychology that gets you crazy, especially if you have been a woman who does not depend on someone else. And I had to go through that stage. One day, I got so mad at him, as in mad. I was really mad. And I told him, excuse me, I can't wake up and be asking you money to buy Maggie or to do anything. It's not in my character. And he was so furious with me, and he replied, which one do you want? Do you want God to impoverish this family simply because you do not have? Or are you grateful that I'm able to bring in something even when you don't have? And that was a mind game changer for me. And I went back and I'm like, Lord, I am sorry. What is important is that there is a need and it is being met in the family, irrespective of whoever it is that is bringing in the money. That was the change for us. And even by the time, we got back into business, later the thing changed. It started earning more. But along the line too, we went through our phases as a family. That is why you must know what is important. What is valuable to you as a family? Your family value might not be my family value. For example, I love peace a lot. Yes, I might look the very talkative type, but I love my peace more than anything else. I would not go to bed with anger and wake up the following day. If I have to boot him by 3 a.m. in the night, because men, when he's sleeping, no matter the problem, my husband will sleep. But me, it's like a major problem for me. Once I have such issues, I don't sleep. So when I'm eyeing him, you dey sleep. I give him a boot. Wake up. You can't be sleeping when I'm not sleeping. So wake up, let's settle this problem. And he will say, the Lord giveth his beloved sleep. And I'm like, excuse me. Am I the one who is not the beloved of the Lord? The Lord can't love you more than me. So those family values actually helped us to stay on point, to know that there are some things that if you value your family, you know what you want. Some fights are really not necessary. Let me put it at that.
Reginald Nwogbo's wife. I don't know why they brought you alone without your husband. I don't know, because they just gave me lists today of people I'm talking to. And I saw lists. I said, I would have wanted to know some things, but since it's not on this table, let me not go there. So, I don't know how long you have been married. You're going to tell us how long you have been married. And then I want you to speak to, they have said a lot of things, but there's something that came up from the two couples now, and I want you as a woman, not necessarily from your story. I don't know whether you have that kind of, but I don't think you have that kind of, but as a woman, because he said, from his own point of view, it doesn't matter where the money is coming from. Any money that comes is our money. And whatever he can do to support the wife so that she can have peace to succeed, he will do. But in his own point, he said his own father, whatever the father can do to destroy the mother's business, whatever the father can do to rub it in the mother's eye, he will do. And he told himself, I must change the narrative. So as a woman, what do you have to say about this clash of the titans, where husband and wife are competing against each other? Husband and wife are supposed to collaborate, not compete. So what do you have to say as a woman of God, as a pastor, as someone that is married? You tell us how long we have been married, so that people sitting down here now that are facing a situation where the wife is wishing the husband to fail. You heard what she said, that when she could no more earn, she cannot imagine herself going to ask a man for money. Inside marriage, your man don't marry you to collect money for your husband now, because you are being used to bringing money. And the husband says, so you would rather that he will become poor so that you can have a go say you get money. And we are in this church. A woman said that when the husband was poor, they were at peace. In this church, couples fairly, Pastor I am now. That's so, but when the man has money, that he begin to misbehave, that she went to pour salt in the engine of the man inside this church. So she pours salt in the engine of the car so that the car will knock engine, so that the man will be poor. Inside this church, there are church members, husband and wife. So what do we do about all this clash of the titans, where a man does not want the woman to succeed, the woman, and they are already married? How do we deal with that? Because it's a clash that is becoming an issue now. Over to you.
Praise the Lord. Okay, by November 24th, my marriage will be 17 years. Thank you. So, first of all, when we look at the marriage institution is actually older than history itself. So, the traditional role of a man still stands. Why? Because marriage is from God. God originated it. So no man would want to take it out because it is God's idea. And the man is the priest of the house. If the man is the priest of the house, the man has to be a blessing over his family. So there is no way we can take away that role from the man. Then, this clash of the titan, I think it has to do with understanding. If we don't have understanding, and if we make the society our yardstick, that is when we start having a problem. When the society dictates how a family should run, we now start running with the mandate of the society outside of what God has said. So I think that's where the clash originates from. Then outside of that, Pastor, I think insecurity. When men has insecurity, they can't deal with the fact that their wife earns more than they do. But if there's no insecurity, whatever the woman has belongs to the man, just like our brother said. Whatever the man has is also for the woman, and whatever the woman has is for the man. So I want to go back to my own. I remembered when I just got married. I got married immediately while serving, actually. And then it was like the beginning of our lives. We had nothing then. So, and my husband lost his job while we just got married. He had nothing. So right from where I was serving, I was actually sending money down for upkeep, not minding. But then he did not relent or holding on to me. Okay, my wife will bring money. So where the problem is, as long as the man does not say, okay, because my wife is earning more, let me now relax. And if the man does not have that driving spirit, the woman will get angry and the woman will get fed up. Somehow we are humans. But when the man has a driving force that I also want to make it, I want to be the head of the family like God has said, Pastor, there will be no problem. But when the man now relaxes because the woman earns more and will not pursue his own dream, that is when the problem is. And another thing is, when you as a man started making it and your wife, the tide turns around, if you don't take your wife into cognizance, making her feel special, the woman will now start regretting why she had to stand by you. Okay, for my own, I had to hold on to my own, as in keep my own dreams and desires aside to focus on the family business to make sure that we build it up together. I did that. Even though I had my own personal plan, I had to let that wait for a while until I found out that everything is now standing before I started pursuing mine. My husband had to support me. Now that he's the one supporting the whole family, he had to support me to make sure that I meet up to my own dream. Praise the living Jesus.
Wow. Because of time, we're going to only give few people opportunity to ask questions when I'm done with Pastor Backinson. Pastor Backinson, I don't know how long you have been married, but I guess we can put you in the category of young couple. You're going to tell us how long you have been married. And you are sitting at that extreme, and the Ololos are sitting at that extreme. So there is old school marriage, there is new school marriage. So from your own point of view, we want to hear your point of view. Because I want to believe that it's not too long that you married. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm just, because like I said, I got the list, so I'm just following as the list that I was given. Now, from your point of view, I will go back to the question that I asked them. Do you think marriage is still relevant today? Because many people in your generation, they have been married now for 28 years. And in that 28 years, they talk about ups and downs. But in your own generation now, we have people here, 6 months, I'm tired, I'm out of here. 2 years, I can't take this anymore. In this church, I have sat down inside that place, Wisdom Lounge, or whatever you people call it now, 8 hours. Talking to a couple that were married for less than 2 years. 8 hours. After talking, protocol came to meet me, say, choir is singing now, you are next. I said, so my sister, where are we now? I said, well, I'm like, Pastor, I can't take all this shit. I say, hey, after 8 hours. So shit in the Monsanto. So is marriage still relevant today? And what is wrong with your generation that makes you people now think that the marriage that my parents, our parents, and these people fought for should now be taken with levity? So talk about your generation.
All right, thank you very much, sir. By the grace of God, on the 12th of September this year, my marriage will clock 9 years. And I can also say, maybe based on the now, that we've also gone through our ups and downs. But whatever the case may be, even though my marriage is of this generation, personally, I am of the old school mentality. I value marriage so much because even though in our growing years, we had this mentality of, Jesus should not come yet. Me too, I want to marry one day. I want to have my own children. Now that it has happened, I see it as something that I should ensure that when I count my successes, my marriage should be part of them. And by the grace of God, personally, I've been working towards it. So my take is this, sir. I think our people, my generation now, we need to go back to the reality. God is still interested in our marriages working and being successful. I remember that was one of the things that we still discussed on the Fusion Singles Fellowship platform recently. God is interested, but we should also be ready to be intentional to make it work. If our parents could be intentional, and when I say intentional, I'm not...
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Technical, please go online or get us the marriage vow. That's going to be the next final question that we'll hear from you. That marriage vow, indeed, with my worldly good idea endow in sickness and in health. So get it, we'll read it, and then they will talk about each of those points. That's the last, yeah.
Okay, sir. So we should be intentional to make it work. And to be intentional is for you to say that my marriage must not fail. I mean, we can sit down to say that even though young marriages are failing now, mine should be different. And so personally, I look up to those who have gone ahead of me and are doing well. And I say to myself, my marriage must work. And that is the mindset that I used to relate with my wife. So much the more that even though I go out in the morning to work, she also does her own business. Most of the home chores, I still do them with all pleasure, because I'm of the opinion that if one of our love languages is acts of service, then I should give it my all. Because that thing keeps telling me, this marriage must work. This marriage must work. So most times when I tell people about my marriage, I don't even tell them we'll be 9 in September. I say, by next year, September, our marriage will be 10, because I'm already looking at the double digits. And God has really been faithful. So I am of the old school mentality that marriages can work. Thank you, sir.
So that old school mentality, when you are saying that's what we want to go and investigate now, and then if you have questions, we'll give you people opportunity to ask them questions. So we'll start back with the Ololo. So in that marriage vow that we make, with this ring, I did wed, with my worldly good, I did endow, I do for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, forsaking all others, and so. But now, they are telling us that you cannot be saying that. That's negative confession. It's for richer, for better, for best, in health and health. So let's speak for better, for worse, for you. Then we'll come to, we'll pick one by one. That's what each couple will talk about. So you talk about for better, for worse. In 28 years, should we still follow that for better, for worse? Or for better, I stay, for worse, I waka? So I need two of you to speak about that, because, of course, I know you guys have gone through challenges. So talk, because this is your last session now. This is your closing session, except there'll be also for better, for worse. Help us understand. Should we still be thinking for better, for worse? Nigeria is worse. I go can't do worse inside marriage again.
Praise the Lord. I still strongly believe that marriage should be for better, for worse. When we use the word for better, for worse, most of the time when we talk about this for better, for worse, the advanced party, the person who is not experiencing maybe the worst part of the situation, is the one always trying to break that issue and say, why should I stay when the situation is worse? If there's a role reversal, let me give an example. My wife, sitting here, went through major health challenges. And it was a very trying time for us as couples. Very trying time. There are couples that maybe the husbands may be planning some other things. But it is already what we have agreed on as people who are married. I have to be there for her in whatever capacity that I can. Or if in the reverse, I was the person who was having the challenge, would I be happy if she suddenly leaves me? That's where the for worse comes in. But God's warped process is such that everybody is individualistic. Everybody is self-centered. Everybody wants something for himself, which does not work for marriages. And I believe strongly that the for better for worse, you must still remain in the marriage vow. Very, very important. Thank you very much.
So my sister, Mrs. Ololo, for better for worse, even Bible says in this world you will have tribulation. So for better for worse, you will still hold on to that.
We should always hold on to that, because ordinarily, even if you're on your own, there's always a better for worse for you as a person. Don't we have friends that has talk with us when we are not lovers or married couples? There are friends that are with you for better for worse. So if this person is your husband or is your wife, just talk to that person, because hard times don't last. They don't. It's a passing phase. And the Bible said, and it came to pass. It will definitely pass. Whether it's passing to success or failure, it will pass. But you work it to pass to success. So the question is, for better for worse, you must stay. Do you know why? Your wife or your husband, is your wife, your husband, not your friend? So if your wife or your husband is your friend, shouldn't you stay with your friend when there are hard times? Don't you help your friends? Don't you help family? What is marriage? Is it not relationship? When you have spouses that are passing hard time, don't you stay with your family, even from a distance? So, for better for worse, stays. Because as an individual, you will pass through it.
Wow. So, I will not give you people for richer, for poorer, because we have discussed that. Now, I will give you, no, I won't give you sickness and health too. I will give you forsaking all others. Abi? Forsaking all others. So, as a couple, how is that still relevant? That in this world is only one man, one woman you will have for the rest of your life? Are you not supposed to chop ogbono in the morning, egusi in the afternoon, and eat vegetable in the night? You could just chop ogbono for 20-something years, 30-something years. How is that still relevant that we should forsake all others? Are you not supposed to have one correct wife, then one side chick somewhere to be servicing something? So how do we this for better for worse thing, forsaking all? Why can you forsake everybody? If you are forsaken and they are not forsaking you, call. So I want the two of you to talk about that.
Okay, praise the Lord. So for me, it's about an illustration that I will use. Marriage is like you having rice. Globally, rice is in everywhere you go to. But you see, the beautiful thing about rice is that it can be prepared in different ways. You can have different spices. You can have different varieties. You can choose to, add different kind of condiments. You can choose to flavor it whichever way you want. So it's about, yes, it is one wife, one husband. But what do you do with that which God has given to you? My husband will say something, say, minister of enjoyment. I said, yes, Jesus has paid the price. I love the good things of life. And if you love the good things of life, that means you just can't wake up and just sit watching your marriage just go like that. So from time to time, you need to be able to spice it up. From time to time, you must look for as little as a negligee. How often do you change your negligee? The nightwear that you wear. You've been wearing one to make you, to bring it home. I have a particular nightwear. When I want to annoy my husband, I wear it. And he will tell you, this nightgown again. It's like, he says it's not sexy. It's not, it doesn't give that vibe. It's like he brings that the vibe instead of raising the bar. You know? So when I'm not in the mood and I feel like I need to annoy this guy, I wear it. But I have assorted that I wear. What it does is it changes the whole thing. And just last night, I'm sorry if I'm being raw now. Just last night, I was parading. You understand? I was parading and the guy was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, be you, they talk some things. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty." You don't have to be all cassock up. Sometimes, even in the marriage, forget about the dress that you are wearing. Go nude, in quotes. It raises the temperature of the house. It changes the mood. Why? Your marriage is like a thermostat. It regulates depending on how you choose to tune it. You can choose to be bland. They leave you at home all day long. They come back, you are still in the same attire. I got to church. Pastor Favor said, "You've changed your hair." I said, "Yes, that's the way I like it." Don't predict me. Sweep me off my feet. Don't make our love making to be such that it's so monotonous.
Are you sure you people are church members? Apostle of lights.
What do I say?
They have the one that will annoy you. They have the one that will wake you up. So that no strange woman will come and touch the power.
Daddy, sorry. There's also something that I always tell him. I said, confession matters a lot. What you speak into your marriage. I tell him there are only two options. We die here. You go nowhere. You are not going anywhere and I'm not going anywhere. And if that be the case, it means that what we speak is very, very vital. So sometimes I tell him, the woman that is supposed to have even tried it, she was flushed away. She never formed. On a monthly cycle, she was flushed away. She never formed. So they never born her.
Hey! 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 One closer.
Hey. Okay. Yes, it's okay. Yeah, she has spoken well. But there have been temptations. And she's very brutal with her friends. There have been opportunities. Some of our friends in the early part, before we were 10 years in marriage, they will come, and there were 2 occasions like that, whereby, they had situations in their marriage, and you are counseling. From counseling, they are arresting. So, within the same house. But she will just come, babe. I don't play with my own husband. No. This is your counseling. We'll continue tomorrow. Go to the right, we'll continue tomorrow. So she's very, very vigilant. Then as an individual too, I have a strategy. Men are moved by what they see. As much as possible, wherever I find myself, I try to have security and make announcements, which is my own. At the time, there was my sister-in-law that was staying with us, and she was very endowed. So I told her, the day I move close, I want to do something, I give you permission to slap me. I give you permission to report to your sister. Are you getting the point? And also open door policy. So these are strategies. So even in offices, in places I go, so there have been temptations though. So you just put strategy in place that will not allow you to fall into those traps. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, part of that vow is till death do us apart. We die here. So, I wanted to talk to that because today now, which they say there is something they call deal breakers. This is my deal breaker. I can't take this. So, are there deal breakers? So, till death do us apart. Is this still till death do us apart? Or are there deal breakers? So we hear from the two of you. The Obasas,
Praise the Lord.
journalists, deal breakers, part 1 to 5.
Okay, in the midst of all of the fun, I just would remind us that the lessons should not slip past us, particularly because everyone goes through different phases at different times. The only thing I used to tell myself before I got married was that the only person I couldn't marry was someone who's not teachable, because I'm always learning. So I told myself that I can't marry anybody who would say, this is me, I can't change. This is how I was raised, I can't move. You saw me like this, I remain like this. So I'll always tell myself, back then, I never knew it was called any deal breaker then, but I knew I always had that because I knew I couldn't cope. If I was becoming better, I would want someone who's also a learner like me, with whom we could grow. And there were a few things then, after we got married. There was this day, I can't remember if we were already, oh yeah, we were married. The marriage was still very, very young. And something had happened, and my husband said that, he said he was sorry, and then added, I can't promise you that it won't happen again. I just went, who says that? Who adds that to I'm sorry? That I shouldn't have added that, because that directly meant to me like, this thing, expect it again, and get ready to forgive again. So I think that when we have all of those kind of boundaries, we would always be tempted around anything we say we cannot stand. Because Satan knows that you have put it out there as something you can't deal, and he will always come and bring temptations around it. So again, I got older in marriage and told myself that I'm also not perfect. So if he puts up with my imperfections, I must learn to put up with his own imperfections. So over the years, it's been companionship, it's been supporting one another, and for us, it's not a strong factor at all anymore. Yes, I encourage him to be equally interested in learning like I am, and we've grown a lot over the years. So there are a lot of things about him that I've learned a lot of over the years, and there are a lot of things about me I've learned a lot of over the years. So that's all I'll be able to say on that. And we mostly share the same views on this, but just in case you have something to add.
I have nothing to add.
Gentleman. Reginald. Ellen. In sickness and in health. Now, when you say in sickness and in health, many people think of different kind of sickness. So as a woman, when we say in sickness and in health, what if the man cannot perform again? Because we are told that women, as they grow in their 40s, their libido will be increasing. They will be wanting more. But the men, as they grow, their libido is reducing. And then they have prostrate, they have erectile dysfunction. And that's why you have a lot of drugs for men, Viagra, everywhere, social media, all manner of drugs. There is no one for women, no. Except, is it Kayamata, whatever. Kayamatanga. So, in sickness and in health, is that still relevant, or there are some sickness that I cannot take? If you have this kind of sickness, just find your level. So because that's part of that vow.
In sickness and in health, Pastor, they should still add it. It should still be in the marriage vow, because you never can tell who will be sick. It could either be the man or the woman. So if you're together in health, you should also be together in sickness, so that you'll be able to strengthen your partner when your partner is sick. Then when it comes to performance, Pastor, it's a very sensitive matter. It's a sensitive matter, but there has to be understanding between the man and the wife. The wife, most importantly. Pastor, there should be a way out. And that way, it depends on what works for both of them. There are children here, and there are things I would want to say, but there are children here.
No, don't worry.
There are children here, so I shouldn't be saying certain things. But they should find a way. Because since the woman is still young, and the man is also, as in, if it's the man that has the problem, the woman has flesh and blood. So for the woman not to go out, there should be a way. They should help themselves. Yes. It's the how. The how I can't.
Technical people, give me the vow. Let me look for the one for hair. To have and to hold. Okay, the 7 promises of marriage traditionally includes. Okay, to be my wife, to have for richer, for cherish, love and charity. Then to account. Okay, so to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, forsaking all others, to love and to cherish until death do us apart. So it remain to have and to hold from this day forward, and then to love and to cherish. Okay, so don't answer them. So, Pastor Parkinson, to love and to cherish. We have heard it said, I don't love you anymore. I've fallen out of love with you. I don't feel the same way anymore. I'm in love with someone else. And now the vow is saying to love and to cherish. So do we still hold on to that? Can you love one person and cherish one person forever? Can't you just love and cherish this one for one season of your life? And then love and cherish this one for another season? So that part of that vow, should it still be there? To love and to cherish, to hold. Why must I hold you? If my hand, they pay me in call, I don't feel drop you. So let's hear your.
Okay, thank you, sir. I will link to love and to cherish to what Evangelist Priya said about likening sex to rice. Now, personally, one of the things that has helped me to always see my wife in a new light almost every time I look at her is that ability to confess. And it's always a case of, men, I love you. And when I say it, I'm looking into her eyes. And sometimes she's like, I've heard this thing over and again. You know, I do things that will help to reaffirm that love and that cherishing now. You know, she walks past me, I slap her bum. You know, sometimes she walks past me, I just look at the two in front and I feel like just touching at that point. I just do something that is always crazy at a particular time. And she's like, guy, stop it now. I'm like, which of you stop up there? The children are in bed, what's up? And then she says something about sometimes go naked. In fact, that's the one I love most. And I'm always encouraging her to do it. She doesn't like doing it, but I do tell her, you need to do it for me. It will not end up in the main thing, but just seeing you like that, there's a way the thing drives me crazy. So when this happens on a regular basis, personally, it increases the love, because on a regular basis, I keep appreciating the body shape. I keep appreciating how the thing is shaking when she walks past me. And occasionally, I will even tell her, even though it will not happen, that combo, which part of this room or this apartment have we not had it? That don't worry, anytime soon. And recently, I still told her that, very soon, you see this dining table, we can't just be eating on it all the time. So these are some of the things that I am of the opinion that if a man would allow creativity to set in, I tell you, you can be married for the next 50 or 60 years and you will always keep seeing yourself as if you are still dating. Thank you.
Hallelujah, somebody. We don't need to ask any question again. I rest my case. Put your hands together, celebrate my panelists. Thank you. Thank you.